Welcome, everybody, to another episode of 8192 The Truth. This is Joel D. Supernaw. And for my partner, brother Sin, who is putting together the panel, he's gonna have a panel of guests that are gonna ask me some questions, or we're gonna make a show of it. But when I come up to the studio, this is kind of cool. It's just me in this. This stuff's pretty simple. But because you have to, drive downtown, get in the elevator, have security clearance, come back, it's just me. So it feels pretty cool. And plus, it's not free. So when I get here 45 minutes early, I literally feel like I'm throwing money away. And I actually like to throw money away. I mean, it's one of the things that I'm really, really good at. But last week I did the same thing. I couldn't get through to Kevin, or Kevin's moving, so we got 26 minutes before he's up, and I start texting people. I'm like, hey, what's up? And like, I don't have a lot of friends, okay? Generally, I'm going to reach out to you every now and then. Something comes up, or, a lot of people have my number. Usually I get contacted by people around fight time. Well, one of the guys that I've had on the show before, Tong Po, his name's actually Scott Davenport. Well, he's up and ready. Now, I will tell you about Scott. He's a man of the cloth. He loves the God. Apparently, he found somebody to marry him, has been a player in mixed martial arts for years and years and years, but he's pretty well-rounded. He's a pretty well-rounded human being, and he's got a ton of personality. He has a ton of personality, but last time he came on the show, man, he really bombed. He really bombed. So I've got him on the line now. Mr. Davenport, how are you doing this morning? Thanks for coming on the show.
I'm the best ever, the greatest ever.
Okay, so all right,
ever.
So that's a perfect.
Did I say ever? Did you get that part?
That's a perfect place to start. Now, I've been talking about it the last few shows. I'm trying to escape the world of the FABU, the world of the social media. So the world that we live in now has become a he said, she said. So about 3 months ago, Scott, you get a hold of me and you're like, dude, check out Phil Baroni. He's living at my buddy's. He's living in my buddy's basement. He's posting these videos, and I go to him. I go to the video. I watch him. They're what the kids call cringy, and me and you have a good time with that. Except then I find you on their thread. On the thread that you brought to me, and you're like, oh, man, you guys look jacked. How do you run that back, Scott? How do you put the proverbial dookie back in the horse for that, man? I mean, you were outed. I caught you.
What did you call that move that I did? Because I said, man, you're jacked, bro. And then he was like, I'm looking for a fight. And I was like, I'd love to fight you.
Man,
fight me.
I have no idea. Was it a swagger jack? Was it a Fabu jack? I don't know what it was, but you did it. But yeah, you're awesome at making those crazy videos, and you've been lifting really, really, really hard. You've got a competition coming up against Chael's jiu-jitsu coach. Fabiano Scherner.
Fabiano, yeah. Hey, I just gotta say, your intro was so good right there. It's so professional, man. That was great. I mean, that was like world class right there.
Well, I tell you, when you get in the studio, it feels different. It's a lot different than putting a pillow.
Yeah, that intro felt so good. I was like, wow.
I feel good that you got that intro with me, bro. So okay, so check it out. You've been lifting in
lifting.
You've been lifting hard too. Now, how old are you?
Bro, I've been training like Phil Baroni, 34.
34. Okay, so you've got
the basement.
This is like your last big strength run. I've
like Mr. T. I'm
you
like
have
Mr. T.
okay. Now where is
I'm gonna
that?
bring the pain.
Where is that that garage or barn thing that you train at?
That's my garage at my house.
Okay, that's your,
Overlaying.
that. That's your garage. Now you've got a wife that is actually
Yeah.
a civilized member of society. Is that correct?
So civilized.
Okay, so
Works for the city.
she okay, so she's 9 to 5 Betty Bop, and she's
Eddie Bob.
got Cro-Magnon man lifting. Like, that's all you're doing right now is heavy lifting. I've watched I've watched almost all of the videos because you send them to me in any manner, shape, or form. Boy, you are getting strong. So, but my question is when she married you, did she just say, all right, this is the guy that if the apocalypse comes, he's got a good chance of protecting me? I mean, and then just anything that you could contribute financially, emotionally, she's good with it. Is that how she came up with the decision? Because from my vantage point, you're not bringing a lot to the table.
I don't know why she married. It's a God thing, you know. That's why I believe in God, because God blesses your life, and you know, that's what I believe. How'd you come into my life? You know, how do you get friends like that? I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but I just saw a video. Wanderlei Silva predicted Chael Sonnen's going to beat Fedor or win this heavyweight tournament.
All right,
Do you believe that?
Yeah. So hold on. I would talk for 12:50. Okay, I would talk till 12:15ish. I gotta. Okay, perfect. Okay, well, so Kevin's always moving. He's moving either a house, so he's moving his business now. So I just got a text from him. I would talk till like 12:15ish. I got to unload a truck quick, so I may need a few as a buffer. Okay, I would talk till like, I don't know what that means. All right, but we'll go ahead. We've got you now. I got the first part of my show, and do you have a nickname? Do you have a fight? I don't want to talk about Wanderlei Silva. You are way more fascinating than you know, than
whatever you want to call me.
Man,
That's fine with me.
I think you would go with the mustache at this point.
The mustache.
Or like you could be like one of those God things, like the chosen. Something stupid like God's chosen child. Here's who you are, Scott. God's chosen warrior, people's champion. Davenport. I mean, just
that's so good.
Yeah, make it something ridiculous, and then when you do
from parts unknown, from parts
unknown, and then like be all crazy.
That's where I train. Actually, I train in parts unknown.
But be all crazy and everything like you are. I mean, you can do a gimmick. Here's your problem: is you're such a fan of the sport. Like when we went to where did we go and watch that horrible fight? We went to Malibu. That was beautiful. And then, oh, God, yeah. Anyway, we went to a fight in Bellator last year. And it was just so much fun. You got laid out. Me and you were, we're just having the time of the life. You're this character. You get over to the venue and you start meeting just the miniest of all mini so-called celebrities, and you just dork out. How does it?
Well, I mean, I dorked out for The Godfather first. I mean, that was the beginning of the whole journey. You know, I was a fan of your show, your welcomes, and you said, "Hey, what are you doing? Let's go to. I got you a plane ticket. Let's go to L.A." And boom, I was there 4 hours later. I think you were just getting out of the studio then. Remember?
No,
and
so funny.
Yeah,
so
well,
I flew.
Yeah.
Let's stay off that. Anyway, so here's what you do, bro. So go in full character and be the guy that like you are the chosen one. Like God literally chooses who wins and loses grappling tournaments, and you have ordained yourself as his chosen warrior. All right, so
this is so good.
It's brilliant because that's what everybody does. I mean, that's what everybody does. And watching life through Lad's glasses, now that he's really becoming a young man and you know, gets it, but he's also got a certain amount of just crystal clear purity. Well, you know, he sees those guys praying or giving God's thanks after, you know, the event, and he thinks that's what you should do. There's nothing wrong with that, but if you're gonna talk about it, don't you have to be about it? Like, this is what I hate about bringing God into anything. Is if me and you have a conversation about God, me and you just whatever we want to do, me and you private, man, that's one thing. Me and you, we're in church environment, that's another thing. But anytime I'm going to take the pulpit and say, hey, I'm better than you. Well, I just won, by the way. I mean, never in the history of the world have I heard somebody thank God after a loss. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but it seems to me that where's the disconnect? I mean, do you see what I'm saying? It's like why do athletes do that? Why do people do that when they're either forced with something really, really hard? Okay, that's usually when we do it. When like, oh shit, I don't have any more options. Hey. Call 911 to God. Listen, man. Hey, check it, God. All right, I know I've told you this every single time I've been up against it, but if you help me out here this time, me and you, we're smooth sailing. Or when they're on top of things, man. I think you should be the chosen one. I'm throwing a line. I'm throwing a theological line out to you right now, bro.
The chosen warrior. God chooses who wins and who loses. I think you don't hear people thanking God for their losses because they don't get interviewed when they lose. Usually, I think Fedor actually did when he lost to Verdum. I was there. I got to go to that fight, and I think he gave it up to God. He was like, "This is God's plan." You know, I thought that was really cool. You know, you're calling it. I'm the ultimate mark, and it's something that you know, I'm here running with the ultimate worker, the Godfather, and it's you know, seeing things through a different perspective. It's like, you know, the seeing that side of things is so cool, man. It's cool just to see the, you know, the worker element, and you got to keep carrying this, man, because you're doing great.
All right, hold on. I like where you're going there. You know, we didn't plan this call. You came in, but it looks like we've got plenty of airtime. So I'm just gonna
studio too, man. You got to keep this in the studio because this is working.
You're just gonna co-host the first part of the show with me, and then I'm just gonna start talking about what's on my plate here. So I've talked about, man, this whole world, this whole social media world has changed the fabric of everything. People start the news. They start the news with he said, she said. It's usually Trump. You know, Trump tweeted this, Trump tweeted that. But it could be anything. It could be ESPN does this all the time. They put up what this pro player says or what this pro player says. And imagine if you were graded on all your stupid texts or thoughts throughout the day. Like me and you, we text a lot. Like some of them are pretty dark. You know, what if we just threw one out? What if just we thought we were somebody in the sphere of fame and we threw one of those things out there, and then we're he said, she said, we're a news item, and it's been wearing on me for quite some time. And I am going to be the minority in where I'm searching to go. I mean, I'm searching to, you know, I keep going back and forth with it in my head because this thing has, some kids like Lad has had a phone and the ability to get on the computer his entire life. Everything that he knows in his life has something to do with, you need an answer, boom, you're a phone away. This has ramifications all the way around. I talk about the appeal to social media and why it has resonated and grown so fast is it gives every single person the opportunity to be famous. And I'm a hypocrite in a lot of ways on this. Here I am on a podcast. I'm nobody. I'm on a podcast and it goes out to the world and people are going to draw it from social media, but I'm trying to speak on a bigger view that somebody has a group of individuals have to start and say we've taken this too far, because now it's Facebook's MySpace. Facebook's coming up. Remember what MySpace was one of the first things? It was a big thing that kind of give people an audience, and then Facebook came in, and then everybody was, oh my God, MySpace, ha ha ha. Well, Facebook is now for the younger generation. It's embarrassing because they have Instagram, and now Snapchat is coming. I don't even know what Snapchat is, but Snapchat, there's just every single person out there with a phone has the ability to become famous in their own mind, and it changes how we process emotions. I'm a part of this. I'm living this, but I'm knowledgeable of the fact. I'm knowledgeable that the one thing you don't want to do in polite society, correct, is talk about. I know we just talked a little bit about religion. Is talk about religion or politics. Go on the Facebook. I cannot believe, to me, I cannot believe the divide and the passion between the right and the left. And I feel like I really feel alone, like I'm in the middle, like why is everybody fighting so hard? And people that I respect, people that I care about, people that I love can't even call basic human. God, how do I say it? Okay, so this thing with the kids, this thing with the kids in the camp. All right, let's take politics out of caging children, and let's just bring it back to, is that wrong? Do you hear what I'm saying, Scott? I mean, that the world of Facebook has now, they've cut out the emotion, the world of social media, the world that we live in has cut out 20,000, some ridiculous amount of children that we have imprisoned and taken away their family. And now we can jump on the Facebook, and I see it all the time, jump on the Facebook and say, it was Obama's fault, or is this person's fault, or Trump's only doing this, or Trump's only doing that. I want to get away from that argument. And I want to bring it to one of the fans of the Crow show, Chris. I can't say his last name. Big guy. I want to ask Chris. Hey, Chris, let's separate politics, bro. Let's separate politics. Do you or do you not believe that there's a better solution than housing 20,000 kids in a cage? All right, that's human and that's real. The ability to be heard in a social media manner changes that. It changes the fact that, okay, now that's just something on the news. I'm separated from it from many different levels. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw my public stance on Facebook. To me, that is the root of the problem. To me, we are losing the ability to communicate as a human being to other human beings because we are now performing to whoever we believe our audience is. So every single person on the planet, And again, this is where I'm being hypocritical. I'm on a podcast. I'm sending it out to the sphere, but I am working towards something in my life that I believe in. You know, I'm so blessed that Ladd isn't, for all his struggles that he's had, and he's winning a lot of them. I am so blessed that he's not really living and dying by social media. And this is such a huge problem that we face as a world, that somebody, and apparently it's going to be me or people like me, are going to have to say, okay, we've taken this too far. Okay, we're going to have to go to the gym, and we're going to have to lock. No more phones at the gym. No more phones at church. No more phones at work. No more phones at school. Do you see what I'm saying? Am I resonating any there? Can you bounce? Help me kind of get through what I'm trying to say here, if you could, Scott.
I think that social media and technology and the internet and everything, it gives people a false sense of knowledge. Because most kids, they have this perspective that they know everything or they understand things that they really don't. Because, you can watch a video of the wild Alaska outdoors and you see an encounter with a bear or something, and it makes you feel like you understand that, or you have a sense of knowing what that's like, or anything. And it's not true. It's not true. If you observe something, if you get on, watch one of my videos and you see me deadlift 600 pounds, you don't know what that's like to deadlift 600 pounds till you deadlift 600 pounds yourself. And I think you come from that era, and you're very, you have a lot of wisdom, a ton of wisdom. You have so much life experience, and you've been through so many things, and that people couldn't even grasp, what's going on in your head. I think, how you think. I actually was thinking about that the other day. It would be funny to be able to read your mind, because I wonder what you think about things, just because you always look at things differently because of all your experience in your life. And I think that social media, the problem with it is it gives people this false sense of knowledge, that they understand things that they don't understand, because you have to go and live your life. That's where wisdom is attained. It's
I love
living.
I love what you said there. That is powerful, bro. It gives you the false sense of knowledge, that you think you know something about something, and you really don't. That is a beautiful, beautiful point. Empathy. Empathy is something that not everyone has. I have a very, very close friend of mine, actually two very, very close friends of mine, that are struggling right now physically. Dickie Paraday he's heroing out on this thing. He was almost brain dead. Well, I'm not going to say that. He was almost dead, not brain dead. He was almost dead a month ago, and it looks like he's got a really, really good opportunity to make a full recovery. Now, I'm watching this huge drama play out from afar. And I'm talking to his significant other almost every single day. And what I see, and this is where life is. And it's been this way for a long time, and social media is not helping it any. It's when we, as a people, me, Joel, you, Scott, or anybody else, don't know our role in the drama. Yeah. We don't know our role in the drama. Like, for instance, we'll do it with Dickie. Well, Dickie is the drama. Okay, in this particular situation, Dickie is the drama. And what people do in stressful situations or exciting situations, you can make it a marriage, you can make it anything. They then change the theater to them being the center of that drama. And now we have what is called drama. People do not understand their place. I complain about it. Let me. I want to get off that topic because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or he said, she said this. Let's. I'll bring it to fights because I've talked about this on Chael Show. I've talked about this on this show. Hey, do you have the phone number I just called you from, bro?
Yes.
What is it? You can say it. I don't care.
503-517-5808.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to do a show here. 5808. I might have to get rid of you here in a second. Where were we? Help me out. This is what's called dead air. This is just real. Okay, so fighting's like this. Chael goes out to his fight, or any fighter in the world. They go out to their fight, and you've probably been through this before. You've fought many times before. People get confused on who the star is. Okay, and it's not really a star. It's just somebody competing. But people then become a bigger part of that show. Cornermen are famous for it. Family members are famous for it. Where now my kid is fighting, so now I want to bring everybody in to show you how cool I am because now my friend or my son is going to fight, and we lose our place in what the drama is. People don't mean to do that. I don't think it's inherently bad. People make mistakes sometimes. A lot of people make mistakes because they want to help somebody so much they can't get out of their own way. But the point where I'm getting to is we as a culture are shutting ourselves off from everyone because we are living our best friend. Our best friend in the world is this phone. And nobody can separate that from being truth. That my phone is more important than anything in the world if I'm on it more than I'm on anything else. If my attention is focused on my phone, and hey, I have a problem. This is just like my weight blown back up. I have a problem. I'm dealing with it. It could be alcohol. It could be drugs. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else. I'm saying I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to make sense of it. And I'm going to create a group of people that understand, man, when we got cell phones way back in the day and the dude was rolling around with the cell phone, the big, huge cell phone, acting all cool, that guy looked like an idiot. So what do you think the guys up in heaven that have been up there for the last 30 years are looking down on society now and looking at every single human being glued into their phone and nobody communicating with each other? What do you think those cats are thinking, man? It's off base. So I don't know what. So I'm gonna get off with you, and I'm gonna keep this line growing. Hey, thanks for coming on, bro. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
thanks for
bro.
being my friend. Thanks for being Lad's friend. It means the world to me to, have met real solid people. And as kind of dark as I am about a lot of things, I am very thankful. So thank you very much. And good luck with your fight with Fabiano. Dude, you can squat 600 pounds. You can bench 900 pounds. Grab him and throw him into the stands.
Yeah. Well, I think you're doing such a great job. I just want to say that you're doing such a great job, and I'm really proud of you, man. And I'm so blessed to have you in my life. And I love that, that's why guys like you to be in their corner. That's why guys like to be around you, because you're a man's man and you see things that way. And I saw that, right away, that it's like, man, this is the guy you want in your corner because he's going to be like, screw that guy, go whoop his ass, It's that simple. Go whoop that dude's ass right there, Show him who's the man.
All right,
And,
hold on. You're staying on.
Okay, I'm staying on.
Yeah, you
I
don't.
think what you're trying to say, though, what you're trying to get at is you got to live your life. You got to live your life. And I had a friend once, my buddy Ben Morgan. He's a really badass fighter. And he told me, when you go watch a movie, the movie's good if the movie inspires you to go do something. But it's not good if it inspires you to go watch another movie. If you watch a movie and all you want to do is watch movies from then on out, and that's how you're trying to fulfill yourself and live your life, that's not a good thing. But if you watch a movie and that movie inspires you to get outside and fucking run up a street and go work out and go do something and go take on a challenge, that's a good movie, And I think that's what you're trying to say. You're trying to say, hey, you need to get out there and you need to go live life.
Yeah, well,
and people up in heaven, they're going to respect the guy that does that, not the guy who keeps watching movies over and over and over.
I see. You're a pretty smart cat. I hadn't even thought it that way. I mean, you're coming up with some good stuff. I'm just working on it. I'm gonna. I never throw shade on Chael, but I'm gonna throw some shade on him right now. I'm gonna use him as an example because Chael Sonnen is rich and famous. Okay, he on the outside looks like he's got every single thing in the world. Okay, he's got his wife's a 10. He's got 2 beautiful kids. He's on He's on everything in the world. He's still fighting. He could be the world champion. He's got all these things going on, and he is so far in to the social media world that he can't see his hand past his fist. It's crazy. He'll go do a podcast that I didn't listen to, and then we'll drive to his practice, and he'll do the whole podcast for me. And I'm like, all right, man, we're off there, bro. We're, we we have a disconnect. We have a disconnect on what's going on. This is our time. This is our time to be friends, to do something here in this next 30, 35 minutes. And it's not, if I wanted to listen to the podcast, I'd already listened to it. I don't need to hear it from you now. I need your friendship. And that is where I'm going with this thing. People, did you see what so-and-so said? Man, it doesn't matter what so-and-so said. It does not matter what so-and-so said. So that's really it. I mean, you're gonna do the show because Kevin's gonna call in 12 minutes, and we're gonna have a 10-minute show. So you're gonna ride with me this whole time, and I'm not trying to throw shade on Kevin. Kevin is in the middle of moving his business. It's a real thing. He's moving his business, and in the middle of his day, he's trying to do a podcast. So I'm not trying to throw heat on him, but we are in fact doing a podcast. Have you noticed, Mr. Davenport? And you know what I love about you two is I could hang up on you right now without saying anything, and you're just cool with it. Where everybody's like, "Hey
always,
man," "Hey man, what?" I was shining, and then he got rid of me. All right, and I understand that too. We understand our place in the drama, wherever that drama is. It's called empathy. It's called, man, it's called common sense a lot of the times. So this week we had. Who was the first one? Rashad Evans, or it was last week. Rashad Evans, future Hall of Famer, started off a wonderful career, finishes with 6 or 7 losses in a row. He comes out and retire. Who was the second person? Don't tell me the Brazilian guy that I don't know, that I haven't heard anything of. There was somebody else, and then Josh Koscheck retired too. I think there's a third person, not the jiu-jitsu guy. Am I wrong?
Oh man, there is somebody. I just can't think of him who it is right now.
Okay, and so this is actually my point, is fans like us who know everything about mixed martial arts, who have been watching this passionately, even loved it so much that we went out and fought. You're going to compete again. You're going to fight again. We love this sport so much that we don't know who that third person is. And it's really, really sad that as somebody ends a beautiful career You know, let's take Rashad. He ends a beautiful career. People like me and you would, oh my goodness, what we would do to have had a career like that and been the world champion, this, that, and the other. And he, on his way out, is basically apologizing. You know that he's got to get out and this, that, and the other, and this whole thing. Josh Koscheck, he comes and does the same thing. Here's another guy that made it to the very top. And so every person that gets to retire, for every single person that gets to retire, that gets their the 2 minutes of fame or whatever the publications report on it, there's another bunch of people out there like Chris Lieben, who fought wars and wars and wars, and now I'm sure, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm sure he's just like me, struggling to make a living, trying to figure out what his next move is. And I guess my point that I'm trying to make is enjoy the shine when you got it, because it doesn't matter how high you make it in whatever field or sport or whatever position that you have. 999 no like 99.9% of the time you're not going to matter. I mean, that doesn't mean you don't matter as a human being, okay? Evander Holyfield, if he a hero of mine, hundreds of thousands and millions of people don't even know who he is. Okay, you see what I'm saying there is,
yeah,
it's, you know, it's sad. It's sad that fighters have to kind of apologize on their way out, and then they always leave open, well, if I could make a bunch of money doing it one last time, I'd come back and do it. And then I'm like, hey, listen, you're talking to a con man, so let's not let me in on the con that you would come back one more. You can't get it right now because you've been doing it for so long, but for the right money, you'd come back and swirl it one more time. It's like, man, hold that. I don't need to know everything, baby. I don't need to know everything. That's what I'm saying there. What else do we got? Do you watch? Thanks for doing this. You've been doing this whole show in.
Yeah. I don't think I should retire. Personally, I think you could always fight again. I had a friend once. He got his jaw broken. Somebody sucker punched him, and his jaw was broken, and they had to have a surgery. And he was asking me. He goes, what if my jaw doesn't heal right and I can never fight again? He was a fighter, and I was like, you could always fight again. You might have your jaw pop out if you get punched in it, but you could always fight again. No matter what, the option to fight is always there. And I don't believe guys should retire because you never know. I know for a fact if the stars align and you could get that rematch with Wes Sims, you'd be fucking lacing your gloves up and getting in the cage for sure. Right now, I know you would do it. Well, there's a lot of factors involved, but
I'd fight him in another room. I'd fight him. I'd fight him right now. Exactly. There wouldn't be a part in time that I wouldn't fight him. But it wouldn't have to be. But that's a guy being unrealistic with himself. That's a guy that's out of shit. That's like sometimes you don't need to bite off more than you can chew, and that's the one thing I like to do. I love what you're saying there. You're just saying, man, you don't owe us anything. Nobody needs to retire from anything. That's just more drama that has made it out into the world, because the fact of the matter is, when that money's gone and that shine's gone, and you're living just like Joel D. Supernaw or Scott Davenport, you're going to look around, and if you can get down and somebody's going to pay you, and you've gotten down before, you're going to get down. I mean, I think I don't want to believe somebody like Chuck Liddell spent all his money, but he probably did. I mean, I hope he didn't. I mean, we as fans, we want people to live right and have an easy way of things, even though life doesn't work out like that, whether you have money or not. But we as fans feel better about the people that we put up on a pedestal if they don't have to grind it out like we do. I mean, I always hate hearing the stories about somebody that had a bunch of money and lost it. I mean, I hate hearing my own story. But you know, I like what you're saying there. That you know, nobody needs to retire about nothing. Just quit doing it. If you want to do it again.
Yeah, the option's always there. It's always there until the day you die. It's there. You know what I mean? You can fight when you're 70 years old. I mean, it's not going to be something that people are necessarily going to want to see, but you know, there you don't have to say like, "Oh, my fighting days are over." You know, I'm done.
All right,
you can always fight.
Here. So let's keep going down this list, and I don't know what kind of show this is going to be, but it is in fact going to be a show. You don't know this, but I had a dog named Sweetness, and Sweetness, Walter Payton. And I grew up in Chicago, and Walter Payton was one of my idols. Been that way for years. So when I got a dog, I got a black lab. Say 2001, or maybe 2002, was a year before Lab was born, because he was still a puppy when Lab was born. It was pretty bit small. Anyway, I named him Walter. I named him Walter. He's a little black lab, little cute black lab. And Miss H went downstairs, brought the dog home, and came upstairs, and I said, "His name's Walter." She said, "No, his name's Sweetness. You can't have a dog named Walter." So Sweetness was born. That's how my dog Sweetness was born. And at the time, his name was born. And at the time, I was the man in my own little sphere. I had a very successful business. Everything was going cool. I was the man, and that dog rolled shotgun with me everywhere I went. I rolled into the banks. He rolled into the banks. I spoiled this dog rotten so bad that if I left him in the car, I had to leave the air conditioning on or the heat on and the music on, or he would whine. He would throw such a fuss that I couldn't take him anywhere, and I couldn't leave him at home because he was so spoiled that animal control would come to the house. He wouldn't stop barking. It's a smart dog. So he rolled everywhere with me, and it was cool. Well, I had a way to go while I could just bribe my way into anything. You know, we went to Bandon Dunes, and where are we running at? All right, so I'm gonna finish this up. I don't have enough time to tell the Sweetness story, but we're gonna bring Sweetness back into this. We're gonna get Kevin in here. Kevin's gonna be calling in a few minutes. Scott, again, thanks for calling in. Thank you very much, because I wouldn't have been able to make a show out of this. Guys, listen, this obviously didn't work out the way we wanted to. Kevin's going to try to put a panel together. I'm going to be able to talk to him for a few minutes. Next week, same time. That is, I'm up here 8:45, so it's called noon Pacific time. Get a hold of Kevin Senior. Come on the show and let me know what you're thinking. So, bro, Kevin's calling in right now. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Love you, man.
All right, buddy.
You're the man.
Yay.
All right, brother.
Bye. All right, Kevin. Thanks. So I was just talking to Scott Davenport. This is kind of fun. We'll get this ironed out. My partner, Kevin Senior. Say hi to everybody, Kevin.
What's up, folks?
All right, so what's cool about this, and it's going to take a minute to iron it out, is this is a live show. I come in, I hit enter, and I go with it. So tell us some of the. I already told the fans, you are in the middle of a business move.
Business move. Yes, I hated moving homes so damn much that I decided, hey, let's go ahead and buy a new office building, and we'll move that too. So today is my move day.
Okay, son. Now, do we have anybody on the call, or do you? How are we doing that?
They are calling me. Let me check. We got a couple people calling in. Let's see. All right.
So we're trying to figure out as we progress with this, doing something a little bit different where we it doesn't drop live, but we shoot it live and we have live fan interaction. That's where we're going with this. And normally Kevin would be in his studio. Now you're just basically trying to wing this thing right now, right?
Today I am, yes. But I think we should be good because today's phones are pretty advanced. So I think I can take 3 to 4 calls. I let everybody know what time, which is now. So as soon as we get some done. Okay. All right.
All right. So I had you pipe in anytime you
all
want
right.
and do whatever you got there, bro. So I had
we got a call.
All right.
Who we got here?
All right.
Just joined in.
This is Zach.
Hey, Mr. Zach Hine from the great Hoosier state of Indiana.
All right. Hey, what's up, brother? What's up, Zach? I know who this is.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting a little one out the door to go swimming with Mama.
All right, cool. Hey, Zach, thanks for calling in. First thing I want to know is how's your health?
We're ticking away at about 30%. We're on the bottom of the list, and I got to go in for some more testing next week and then again in the month.
All right, we got another call. Who just joined?
This is Joe. What's up?
All right, Joe, baby. So we got Zach Heim. That's Joe Cockrell, right?
What's up, Joe?
Zach was just telling us about his health, Zach. So continue, sir.
Oh, yeah. It's just, we're about 30%, which for a normal person, which is, I got half that, so about 15 for me. But, yeah, we're just going for testing and see what happens.
Man, Zach, you are a warrior. To bring you guys up to speed on who Zach is Zach's been on death's door at least 5 times. And when he says 30%, I believe that's 30% kidney function.
Heart.
Oh, heart. Even worse. But I tell you what, guys, to at the beginning of the show, I was talking about empathy. I was talking about knowing your place in the role. I'll tell you, Zach, you are an inspiration to me, for sure. But while I have you on, and before we get to Joe Daddy, do you got anything on your mind?
No, man. I was talking to Kevin the other day, and I told him that I really appreciated you because of your relationship with Vlad, and that gives me something to aspire for with my relationship with my little girl. And I think we have some of the same views, and I want them to have experiences that they probably don't really care about. They just want to spend time with us.
Isn't that the truth, man? God bless you. All right, I actually threw that out there on accident. Not on accident, but seriously, man, you are an inspiration. Thanks for coming on the show, guys. Listen, I'm trying to get to a spot, and we're trying to get to a spot where people call in with something on their mind, and they throw it at me, and I know our other cat on this line, Joe Daddy Cockrell, is going to have something to talk about. Zach, thank you for your time. Thanks for coming on. And good luck with your heart, and good luck with being a dad, which is, the hardest job in the world for me anyway.
Yeah. Well, thank you. You guys have a good one.
All right. Thanks, Zach.
Appreciate it, brother.
Bye.
Joe Daddy.
What's up, brother?
All right. So we got Joe Cockrell on. Joe, let me give you a quick introduction, if I have it correctly. Is former law enforcement, gets into the security end of this, because I think the law enforcement is paid so little that you guys look around and you're like, man, I'm looking down the barrel of a gun prospectively every single day, and I don't know how I'm going to pay my mortgage. So you guys, and I could be wrong, and then you guys kind of look into the security side of this thing. If I'm right there, bring me up to speed, because I noticed a couple things on Facebook that you were looking to start your own business. First off, is that correct about police getting into security? And second thing, we got a coffee shop going. What do we got? Bring me up to speed, baby.
I'm all kinds of crazy different ways. I don't know if it was that law enforcement has changed a lot, and it's hard. It's an impossible job. It's ridiculously impossible, especially when, camera phones came out and all this disrespect for law enforcement, and anybody with any common sense doesn't want to do the job anymore. It's that simple. That's why you're seeing these days, all you're getting are these 21-year-old kids, because anyone with above 30 is too smart to even get into law enforcement these days. But yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of irons on the fire. Like we talked about before, I commute 100 miles to San Francisco every day. That's a joy. I'm stuck in traffic right now. But yeah, I'm looking at a couple things right now. I'm looking to try to get a coffee business going, a franchise. We're just waiting on them to finish up their package, and then I'm also maybe working on a possible tap house brewery type thing. So a couple little things going on.
I like a cross between coffee and alcohol.
They make some good products that have both, man.
Yeah.
Get some caffeinated beer.
Actually, I found out that my coffee shop that I go to, they serve wine at 7:00 in the morning. And I just think that's great, man. I love anybody going to the coffee shop and drinking wine. Maybe they don't drink wine, but just that they have the ability to drink wine at 7:00 in the morning. Oh God, it makes me feel good in my heart.
Well, in my field, which is sales, so I deal with some big clients, big accounts. I got to talk to people. I will do coffee and a few shots in the morning because I need the energy, but I really need to take the edge off and loosen up to be able to talk. So I understand why they're marketed. I get it.
Joe, give me something. You had some not theological, but you had a question. I was fabuling, and you had a question for me about why being poor was hard or something. I mean, you put it in the manner of like, why do I think I felt poor when I was a kid or something, or do you remember what I'm talking about?
Not really, actually.
All right, perfect. All right, well, let's just go on. Hey, you got a topic for me? I've got a few minutes left before I've got to get to a new job that I don't really look forward to doing, but onward and upward.
Love it. Hey, two things real quick. There's two things I want to talk about. One, you had the greatest idea in MMA history, and I'm still not hearing anything else about it. I really, really, really want to see the judges' scorecards at the end of each round.
I would love to see that. Is that my idea?
Well, I heard it first from you on a podcast.
I will accept that.
Running with that.
I will accept that idea. I will take it, but it's not mine. I like that too. I might have said that where the fighters know where they're at. Yeah, I think I was looking at it from a different the way I heard what you just said, as opposed to what I remember saying was, I need to know where I'm at. I need to know as a fighter where I'm at. And then when the way you explain that, okay, so that's number one. I think that's a beautiful idea. And number two,
seriously, think about how good the round threes are going to be in the future if you do that. If you got somebody that knows he's down 0-2, he's going to come out like gangbusters in round three, and it's going to make much more exciting fights. Plus, you know what's going on before the end, and you hear, I
like the judges quite so much. I love where you're going with that. If they really cared about the fighters, never in the history of the world would a round be 5 minutes. It would be 3 minutes. And if you want guys to fight to the death, 5-minute rounds. Like some of them, there's so few fighters, and all of the fighters out there that are really out there fighting to the death. I mean, I don't want to say they're fighting to the death, but they have something within them that will make them push and push and push. And us as fans, when we see two guys in battle like that, it's just beautiful. But the reality is, man, these rounds they need to be 3 minutes. They need to be 3 minutes, especially a 5-round fight. Having those heavyweights. I mean, you know, we can make fun of Kimbo and Dada fighting a couple years ago. Kimbo Slice, he passed away, unfortunately, and he fights this local tough guy or whatever. I watched it. I don't know if I had to pay for it, but I watched it. Anyway, the Dada dude almost died. He almost died.
Did die.
Yeah,
Technically, he died.
He almost died fighting. So, listen, I've got to close this show because, unfortunately, today I really do have to be somewhere at 11 o'clock. But I want to thank guys. We're doing something different here, and where we're going isn't what it's going to sound like today. What I'm trying to get to, so everybody understands, is this one. I knew Joe was calling because I figured it was 1 or 3 people. I want to get to A, I don't know who's calling, and B, you're coming in with something to say. That's how I feel the direction of the show going to where whatever, because my base of people that we like to talk about mixed martial arts, but there's so much more in life than mixed martial arts. And that's what I want to get to on this thing. I want to have a spot where guys can come in and tell me, hey, you're wrong about this, Joel. I want to talk about this, or you've said this. And that's where I want to get to, where we spend about 45 minutes each show on Friday, it being the fan show, because that's what I'm nobody. I'm nobody. And if I'm ever going to make it in this sphere, I need to be somebody that you guys connect with. And so, Joe, thank you for coming on. Kevin, I know you're running around with like a chicken with your head cut off. So
That's all right, because what we learned today is we can do minimum 5 people in studio at the same time. So that's a very good thing we learned today.
All right, perfect.
And multiple calls.
And as you guys will hear when you guys hear this show, I'm truly running it live. I'm not. A, I don't know how to edit, and B, you know, I'm being honest. I'm being honest with the world on that. That hey, put it on and go. You know, your ugliness is your ugliness. So guys, hey, thanks for coming on. I've got a jet. I would hate to get fired on my first real day of work. So I got to go, guys. You want to close it up with a baby, Joe?
Baby.
All right, baby. Bye.
Peace.